Welcome. Thank you for lending an ear to the Voice of the Times for Thursday, September 2, 2021. For today's editorial, DoST is about to waste everyone's time and money. The use of antiparasitic drug ivermectin as a treatment for coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 has been a topic of intense public interest for some time. But as we pointed out in an editorial last weekend, it is not really controversial. No clinical study has found out that there is any basis for the belief that the drug is at all effective against COVID-19. And every credible authority, our own Department of Health, the World Health Organization, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, and even the manufacturers of the drug has clearly recommended against its use for anything other than its intended purpose as a treatment for animal parasites and in its human formulation as a treatment for some skin conditions and lice. Thus, it is with dismay and disappointment that we learn that the Department of Science and Technology, or DoST, intends to begin its own clinical trials of ivermectin on September 15, announcing it in a press statement on August 27. This exercise is completely unnecessary and at a reported price tag of 22 million pesos, an irresponsible waste of public funds. According to the DoST announcement, the project double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized controlled trial to assess the efficacy, safety, and effect on viral clearance of ivermectin in asymptomatic and non-severe COVID-19 patients confined in isolation facilities will run for 8 months with an interim progress report scheduled to be available on December 31 of this year. The quarantine facilities which have been identified as sites for the clinical trials in Metro Manila are the Ateneo Quarantine Facility, La Salle Quarantine Facility, University of the Philippines Diliman, and Makati Science High School Quarantine Facility. A total of 1,464 asymptomatic and non-severe Filipino COVID-19 patients who are at least 18 years old will be involved in the study, the DoST added. The study was originally set to begin in June this year and run through January 2022, but the DoST explained that, quote, changes to clinical trial protocols delay the start of the project. The timing of the announcement of this fool's errand could not possibly be worse. News from the U.S. of the widespread use of ivermectin has increased in volume over the past 2 or 3 weeks, and none of it has been remotely positive in any way or even hinted that the drug is effective. Instead, there has evidently been an exponential increase in the number of accidental poisonings and people suffering from serious adverse effects, and the frenzied demand for ivermectin, despite warnings against its use, has resulted in a shortage of the medicine for veterinary use. The news of the DoST project also comes at a time when many government agencies are under fire for inefficient or irresponsible spending, as highlighted in the recent reports of the Commission on Audit. No less than the President Rodrigo Duterte himself, in his late-night address last Thursday, has frankly admitted that the government is under financial strain, yet the DoST is forging ahead, either unaware or unconcerned with the dubious appearance it presents. It has been suggested that there is perhaps something else involved in the DoST's announcement, which coincided with the beginning of deliberations over the 2022 national budget in Congress. Several congressmen have been the most vocal advocates for the use of ivermectin, even in the face of evidence refuting their claims about its effectiveness, leading some to speculate that the DoST announcement was intended to boost support for its budget request for next year. We would not suggest that that is the case, as there is nothing to support that speculation beyond mere coincidence, but we can certainly understand how some may form that impression. There is ample research literature concerning the issue of ivermectin, as well as guidance from trusted medical authorities for anyone to make an informed decision about whether to try the medication. The DoST study will add nothing to what has already been learned from much larger research studies and will simply divert resources that could be better applied elsewhere. If the DoST does not have the wisdom to cancel the project on its own, it should be ordered to cease and desist by the President. And that's the editorial for September 2, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to its digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.